I'm back with yet another Trippie Red video, which means we have yet another Trippie Red album title. Yes, that title, Live, Laugh, Love, Die, lasted for a few months until Trippie decided to change it to Judge Me Now, which then after a couple of weeks, Trippie has been saying this new name, NDA, which I don't even know what that acronym stands for yet. But in this video, we have a ton of Trippie updates and activity to talk about and a ton of snippets leading into this next album. Before we jump into that, like, comment, and subscribe to both of my channels. I have a Twitter, Instagram, follow me over there, join my Discord, and also follow me on Twitch. We react to music over there. It's lit. So for this new Trippie era, he of course has a new hairstyle and color. It's kind of looking like the blonde era we had for Pegasus back in 2020. Trippie's had the Uka Uka chain back, one of his old chains repaired for a while now, but he has the Johnny Dang customized shark grills back as well. He got a new pair. Bro looks like a goddamn shark right now, and honestly, you guys in the comments, I need to know, out of 10, what do you rate Trippie's aura in 2025? I really need to know. It's one of his most different looks, that's for sure. But for this next album, Rollout NDA, Trippie has cleared his Instagram other than just a couple random newer posts. It seems like he might be going for an all-white theme at this point, who knows. But I wanted to read what Trippie put on his story the other day where he talks about the new album title and how him and Igor at Live Touch produced the album and he recorded him the whole time. He also said Igor will DJ the tour, which is very exciting. But at the bottom he says, give us a sec, we are working on 2 albums at once. Well, he didn't drop an album in 2024, so maybe he's making up for that here in 2025. I do just want to focus on NDA first, you know, in the first album, but I'm here for a quality album most importantly. And it's very exciting that Trippie said he's going on tour again. I saw him last year and did a concert vlog in Omaha a few months ago, last fall. I do want to see Trippie just do venues he can actually sell out, like he did like a 3,000 one here in Omaha, and you know, that went well. It was a great night. He has really turned live, but I think he could go crazier with like the whole production and also like stage design and everything for his own tour. Now, do we think this next album, NDA, is going to be dropping before Trippie performs at Summer Smash this year, which is Friday, June 20th? He has a time slot, which is exciting. I'm glad he's doing festivals like that. You know, I think he needs to be that guy who continues to go to the Rolling Louds and all that as well. There's no reason why you really shouldn't. I feel like go get that bag and, you know, go perform for all those people, that big crowd, you know. That's around Trippie's birthday, so I don't know when this album is dropping. You know, Trippie said it's, you know, 99% done, 95. I mean, who knows at this point? I mean, I hope it's almost done. I wanted to show you some album snippets. A couple of these are from, you know, technically the JMN era and whatnot, or, you know, whatever. It's just the ones I haven't showed you already. I'm gonna play for you. DJ Scheme said Trippie also has a crazy vault. He tweeted that out recently. Because Trippie has so many different albums that he goes for and then, you know, ends up scrapping them, there's so many lost snippets in the past that aren't gonna be dropping, so rest in peace to them. And I feel like those songs for LLD and that sound, he was pushing like a mansion music, those trap songs like Forrest Gump and Schemin' and, you know, all those snippets, I feel like he's moved on from that. I think the newer snippets like Replace Them like have to release on this album and sound like the newest grails that Trippie has previewed, and also the snippet A State that Academics previewed. I played those in my last Trippie video over a month ago, but I want to play some new snippets that are technically, you know, JMN era and whatnot, but this first one sounded pretty nice. It was called Seize the Day. And then I was excited to see him re-preview this February 5th song. I thought it was called February 12th and had like a little video to it. I don't even know at this point, but Trippie with his new hairstyle was previewing this on his story. This could end up on the album. What I'm noticing from these newer Trippie snippets, and you guys can give me your opinions on them as well in the comments, I'm thinking that they're pretty quality and just a lot more creative. You get to see Trippie, you know, use the range in his voice a lot more. You know, he's also using that non-nasal voice, you know, that just typical Trippie voice I think most people are gonna enjoy and like, and that he has so many hits with. You know, when you hear like a new snippet from like Lil Baby and whatnot, you're like, oh, it's repetitive, we've heard that already. It sounds like the last Lil Baby album. Like, I feel like these Trippie snippets are not that. They sound like something completely new and interesting that definitely raised my attention. I also wanted to mention this new Wayne flow that I think Red Files previewed, but this sounds amazing. I love this type of rap from Trippie.
Pussy boy talking fly, we for sure swat him.
It has like the same background vocals or like maybe even sample from that 21 Savage track, Letter to My Brother, but I really need a lyrical Trippie song like this, and I really need his lyrics to be upped on this next album. It's gonna make this album hit so much more. We have a few snippets left to talk about in this video. There's been a lot. I've been waiting to drop this video for a while now. Talil, or whoever the streamer is, Trippie must have sent him some songs. A couple to preview on his live stream, and him and his guys were turning up to Estate, which was the one, you know, we've already heard before. And then that night on that stream, they played this other one called Demon in My Eyes. This has like one of the craziest beat drops. This sounds like an insane Trippie song. This has to be on the album. Also, I think the same night Trippie was at Booby Trap. This dude's always in the club going crazy and whatnot when he's single. But yeah, they're turning up in the club to that song. I love this track. This is one of the best snippets as well. But now that I've played you guys a few NDA snippets, this is an album that I'm really anticipating. One, because Trippie is like my favorite rapper, but I'm definitely anticipating it just as much as Thug's Ooh Scooty album, his comeback album. I just made a video on that. And then also Wayne's Carter 6. I'm about to make a video on that as well, probably in the next week. And shout out Red Files once again. He was complaining about you know, MGK being on the newer Wayne album before Trippie read basically in his tweet, and then he responded to himself saying never mind. So I don't know, hey, do you know something that we don't? It is Trippie on this track list for Wayne. I hope he gets added on there. We saw him in the studio last year. They have a few collabs together. We need this collab between my two goats, and hopefully it is that Fine song that I think did leak, but I really need that collab. That snippet is like insane. But for this portion of the video, I wanted to pull up some of the recent Trippie Redd tweets, because he actually is like logged into his account now and like is actually talking, and he's learned how to tweet, and he's just been firing them off in the last couple of days. But the first important thing that he said, I guess on April 24th, was the Versatile King is pretty much back. That's good to hear for his album. I think that's what everyone has said. Do that, because then a lot more people are going to enjoy your album than just the people that like one side of Trippie's music and in one genre, you know. Then he also says hypertrap / pop is dead. I don't really know why people call that type of music hyper pop. That's a completely different thing. He says it's repetitive, he wants to hear art, and he's asking people to evolve. So hopefully Trippie's evolving on his next album. He then says a couple days later that it's album of the year loading for sure. Then he says you got to compare this album to new music like Travis Scott or Donda from Kanye, Life of Pablo from Kanye as well. He says, or even Drake shit, even SZA, Chris Brown. He's on that type of timing. That's what I like to hear from Trippie. This is getting me pumped up. If this album is gonna be on the level of a Drake album, or like even, you know, a good Kanye album, or Travis, I want to see it, baby. Let's go. And from Trippie Redd's homie here and producer Harold, he kind of gave us a little bit of insight on what the actual content of the album is gonna look like. He says, without giving away too much, it's basically a story from his POV of the last 2 to 3 years of his life. That makes sense, because we know Trippie's, you know, been working on this project for a while and has gone through a lot of ups and downs, as he mentions the good, the bad, and the in-between. Trippie is experimenting a lot with his vocals. There's new production with the more personal and thought-provoking lyrics. I personally think it's a sign of growth and maturity for Tripp, not as an artist but as a human as well. That is all very good to hear. For sure better than Pegasus, which was a little bloated, but I think is overhated album. And he says it's not a bunch of just random songs thrown together, and we do need Trippie to pick a good track list and his strongest, most quality songs, most cohesive, you know, album put together possible. That's what we need from him. This project flows well and is very cohesive, which is the next thing Harold says. But then lastly, I wanted to cover this theory for the features of this NDA album from Trippie, and he follows only rappers and artists and singers on Instagram right now. I think it's about like 13, and if you go through his following, people are suspecting this is the feature list. Party Next Door, Kodak Black, D-Baby, who he's been hanging out with a lot, Tizo Touchdown, that'd be really nice. Lil Wayne, of course, maybe a hinted collab there already. Young Thug, fresh out of jail, if it's that song, that'd be really exciting. Low Shimmy as well, Trippie was just seen with, that I showed you in this video. Ty Dolla $ign, that would be interesting. Jacquees, R&B singer, No Cap, that's very interesting. And lastly, Tory Lanez, which him and Trippie have multiple hits together at this point. That'd be really dope. Tory is locked up right now though. So let me know, do you think any of those artists are gonna be featured on the album? Some of them are just completely random, some of them I can actually see happening. saying. I don't really want 13 features on the album. I think Trippie's better than a lot of those artists, and I don't want any bad features to weigh down this album. That's another thing Trippie is needing to improve on going into this next project. But yeah, that's kind of everything in this video. I'm gonna have more big Trippie videos on the way and covering this NDA album. Let me know what of your favorite snippets I played in this video were in the comments down below. Subscribe to both of my channels. There's more conversations over on Twitter and Instagram. Join that Discord, and also follow me over on Twitch. I'm gonna be live, once or twice this week. More videos on the way. Love you guys. Peace.